Yeah, so our next story then. Do not skip Korthia on your alts if you want to be maximally sort of optimized. So this was, of course, brought up by Mephisto on Twitter. I saw that, gave him it was a retweet, quote tweet, whatever it was. But you know what? Because Mephisto is the source, you do the click there, and we'll read this one via his Twitter. So yeah, he says, if you skip 9.1 for alts, which is around, like sort of 30-ish minutes.
Yeah.
Well, like 30 minutes if you're Mephisto, he's a speedy boy. Probably a bit longer for most people, but you can see how you could do this in like 30 minutes.
Yep.
If you do skip the 9.1 intro, you lose access to a quest. And that is a quest that will give you 750 anima, a Death's Advance war chest, and 10 Stygian embers, as well as 750 reputation for Death's Advance and 500 rep for every other Covenant, which is quite a bit. And he says there, this essentially puts you 1 week behind on embers if you skip.
Yeah.
Which is obviously not ideal. And Mephisto here says, it took me an hour, 14 minutes to do everything to get where the skip brings you. And that got him 925 anima, 750 Death's Advance, 500 rep with all covs, 1 Korthite Crystal, 4k gold. He said it usually takes him about 50 minutes to get 900-ish anima for doing world quests. Yeah. So basically, Mephisto's point there is that the intro experience really is quite time efficient in terms of the rewards you get for doing it. And because of Stygian Embers being a very important resource, you don't want to be behind in those.
Yeah.
So this is the sort of thing where I'm a little torn on it, to be honest with you. I mean, Dakor says here, this is a very bad design decision from Blizzard, purposely screwing over players who use the skip and alts who are completely unaware and are not warned in any way beforehand. Maybe it's just an oversight, but it should be rectified before it does too much damage. I would say that, it's like you've done an hour and a bit of content. You get a reward for doing that. If you don't do that content, do you deserve the same reward? I mean, obviously no. Now, that said, in need of assistance is that initial Korthia quest to do your 3 dailies. Is that before you get the Eye of the Jailer?
I believe well before that. I think.
See, what I'm trying to think, right, is could they have just done it so that it zooms you straight to this with Eye of the Jailer gone?
Probably not, given how they do chapter stuff.
Okay. That's such a pity, because I feel like when you do content, you should get a reward, and if you optionally skip all of that content, then you should also, not get that reward because you skipped the content.
The only problem is that a lot of those rewards are, especially Stygian Embers, are literally unavailable otherwise, outside of really hyper inefficient ways to do it. And also, you've done the content. It's not like the content's like difficult or time or like anything outside of just a bunch of time and like narrative stuff you've already seen. It's a case where if you were skipping all the daily quests, then you don't deserve the reward. But the point is that this like a meta quest. It's you're doing your dailies anyway, and the whole intro stuff is just stuff you've already done. It's like you don't do the same for you don't lose out on a lot of stuff for doing other skips.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
And I think the vast majority of it is actually on the Stygian Embers, because if you're like imagine like obviously you're going like that's a small percentage of players that are going to have multiple characters raid ready, but losing out on a week or like half a week or whatever it ends up being worth of currency is just it's not communicated. You'll click this because you want to get to the stuff that matters to you quicker.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh shit, I didn't realize I'm actually a week behind on like the new patch's gearing system as a result.
Yeah, I guess there's multiple ways around this. One is just warning players. Yeah. The other one is removing Stygian Embers from this and putting them somewhere else. Yeah. Or, in the same way like you do, whatever the mode is, the adventure mode for leveling but not doing the campaign. Threads of Fate. You could do something where you choose the skip and you go straight there with a quest that is the equivalent of this. Mm-hmm. Maybe you could do that so the players don't feel screwed over, sort of thing. It just seems like it's an unfortunate little oversight. I don't think it's intentional or anything like that.
It's an oversight for sure.
I think it's very easy to oversee something like this, especially in a world where people do want skips. So, I'm not too pissed off about it. It's just something I thought we should bring it up so the players are aware of it if they're going to be doing stuff in their alts. And I think Blizzard should either signpost this a bit more clearly to players or make some sort of alternative so that the people who do the skip, because they don't want to do the Battle for Ardenweald and the Helya quest or the Odin quest line, some way that they can still get that same quantity of Stygian Embers per week.
Yeah.
And I think that would basically be it solved. It's just an unfortunate little thing, but people should know just from making decisions in their characters.
Yeah, that's the problem.